tap. It's a battle of next-door neighbors in the GMC. Hamilton hosting Middletown. Next on Chatterbox Plus. Good evening to you, along with the coach Sean Van Winkle. I'm Geoff Kim. Week number 10 on tap here tonight, here at the Athletic Center. This is the back end of a home-and-home between the two schools. In their last matchup back in December, the Middies thoroughly dominated the game on offense, hitting on 52% of their shots. 6 of 8 from behind the three-point line and 8 of 10 on free throws. The Middies had 13 assists to just 3 turnovers in that contest. Hamilton hit on just 36% of its free field goals in that game. 1 of 9 from behind the three-point line, turning the ball over 17 times. The Big Blue, however, did win the battle of the boards, 31-18. And as we bring in the coach, Sean Van Winkle. Sean, I believe that's going to be part of your keys to the ball game and how well the Big Blue can leverage their one big spot on rebounding.
Yeah, they're third in the conference in rebounding, and if they want to play tonight and have any chance at all to win this game, it's got to be rebounding. But, Jeff, I'm not too sure why we got so lucky. I mean, last week we had the rival of East versus West, and tonight we have what is arguably the oldest rival in the GMC with the Hamilton Big Blue and the Middletown Middies. So what an exciting night. We'll jump right into some keys of the game, if you don't mind. We'll start with the home team, the Hamilton Big Blue. Taking care of the ball, number one key for the Hamilton Big Blue tonight. They are averaging 12.6 turnovers, which isn't a ton, but it's a lot when you're only averaging 9.1 assists per game for the Big Blue. They need to also keep the Middies out of transition if they want to win this game. Ideally, the Big Blue would like to keep this game in the 40s. Over-under, 82 would be what they want to be below that 82. So 40s is where the Hamilton Big Blue want to keep that. And the last thing you hit on a little bit earlier, Jeff, is the Hamilton Big Blue want to rebound. They have they want to give the Middies no extra chance shots on the boards. And again, like I said before, Hamilton's third in the GMC in total rebounds.
Hamilton comes in plus 0.3 rebounds, and you wouldn't think that's a big advantage in this ball game, but given their last meeting back in December where they out-rebounded Middletown over in Middletown, 31-18, second chance points tonight are going to be huge.
It is, and that's what, I mean, that is the only way Hamilton has a chance is they got to out-rebound the Middies. We'll jump right over into the Middletown Middies as we talk to keys for victory for the Middletown Middies as they come in. The number one thing they need to do is they need to be patient on offense. The Hamilton Big Blue will run a matchup zone and slow people down, and you can't come down and take a quick shot. You got to get a couple ball reversals, some inside-out actions in order for Middletown to get a high percentage shot. The second thing the Middies need to do is to control the big two for the Hamilton Big Blue, and that's Matthews and Holden. Matthews can go off in a hurry, and we're going to talk a lot about him tonight, but also Holden can rebound and maybe get some extra attempts for the Big Blue, especially on the offensive end. And the last thing the Middies want to do is they do want to speed the pace when they have the opportunity. Middletown's very good in transition, but the Hamilton Big Blue want to slow it down. So it's going to be a tale of two different styles tonight when we have the Hamilton versus Middletown lineup tonight.
You know, I point back as we talk about the transition game for Middletown. I point back to the game that you and I had towards the beginning of the month over at Lakota West, the double overtime game, and how big was transition in those games, rebounding and the quick outlet pass.
It was, and remember we were talking, it was 1-2 layup. The ball wasn't even touching the floor, and that's exactly what Middletown does in transition. You got to remember, they came in pretty inexperienced at the beginning of the year, and they kind of, I know they lost Tuesday, but they kind of were on a little bit of a run and getting better and better. And I know Coach Moss is really, really liking his team right now going into the late January, early February time.
The last time out for both teams, they took losses on Tuesday. Middletown lost at home to Lakota East, 56-49. Isaiah Day led the Middies with 15 points. Despite a game-high 20 points from Cooper Matthews, it was Hamilton falling on the road at Coleraine, 50-38. Both teams were undone by one tough quarter on Tuesday. In the case of Middletown, it was the third quarter, and in the fourth for Hamilton against Coleraine. In fact, that game was even-Steven, and then the Cardinals ran off to a 22-10 fourth quarter, and that ultimately sealed the deal for Hamilton out on the road Tuesday night.
Yeah, and for Hamilton, when you go into Coleraine, now the one thing I do know about the Coleraine Cardinals is Coach Kerr is one of the best in the business, and they're not giving up. And so you got to have to come in and win that game. And Coach Higgins told me he went in the locker room before the game, and he honestly felt like his guys weren't ready. They were overlooking it. They were looking to tonight's game because it's Middletown versus Hamilton, which is a huge, huge rival. So they may have overlooked the Cardinals, and you can't do that on any given night in the GMC. And then we know Lakota East. They had that tough game against West. Coach Atkins is one of the best in the business as well, so he got his guys ready to go up in Middletown and beat them.
As we look at the tail of the tape, scoring favors Middletown in this one, averaging 56.5 points a ball game. They're +5 in that category on a per-game basis. Hamilton, 51, just over 51 points a ball game. They're -2 points a ball game. Shooting percentages all favor Middletown. In fact, they are, I think most notably, shooting 51% from inside the three-point line. Neither team shooting a whole heck of a lot from outside of it. So the inside game, especially with second chance points, will be a big factor. And all those rebounding numbers favor Hamilton.
They do, yeah. So that it is the tail of the tape, and it's two different. You know, when it comes to scoring, it's all about Middletown. When it comes to rebound, it's all about Hamilton. But it is going to be all about who's going to step up tonight. For Hamilton, it's got to be somebody besides Holden and besides Matthews. And I told you earlier today, I really like the Davis Avery kid. He can shoot it. If he's left open, he can really knock it down. And if he can step up, the Moat kid can shoot it as well. Those two right there from the outside, particularly for the Hamilton Big Blue, who's going to step up in this nice environment where it's starting to fill in here tonight at the Hamilton Athletic Center.
A history lesson for you. The last time these two teams met, the Middies won it in a blowout in Middletown on December 2nd, 64-40. We mentioned that at the top of our broadcast. A big note on that from a game standpoint, Middletown ran out to a 20-2 first quarter, and of course they never looked back. They led the whole way through. Jeremiah Landers led all scorers with 22 points. Now, the last time the Big Blue won in this series, it was on February 5th last year, 2022, here at the Athletic Center, 60-53. The big high-riser, Sage Tolentino, led everyone with 20 points and 9 rebounds that night. Of course, now he's over at the University of Cincinnati.
He is, and he's probably going to redshirt, is what Coach Higgins told me. Just not getting enough time. Big kid, putting some muscle on, needs 50 more pounds. I did ask Coach Moss last night real quick, Jeff. I said, what does this rival mean? Because Coach is very familiar, growing up in Middletown. He told me, he's like, I'll be honest with you, Coach Van Winkle, the players on the team don't necessarily know how big this rival is, but me and Coach Edwards are going to talk to them before we get on the bus tomorrow to let them know, because tonight is the night. You're representing the city of Middletown, and the Hamilton Big Blue are representing the city of Hamilton. So this is a huge, huge rival. Big-time names, the Carters, the Edwards. You can go on down, Jerry Lucas, Paul Walker, and then you got Chris Kingsbury, Norm Greavy,
sure,
Marv McCollum, Tyrese Walker, Joe Nuxall. I mean, the history in Hamilton and Middletown is just an amazing thing. And tonight they get to both represent their city.
We're waiting for the nation's anthem, and we're trying to kind of get a look and see if we can give you the starting lineups first, or if we will wait for the nation's anthem here. We will tell you at least about the coaches tonight, the head coaches. Hamilton comes in with a record of 7-9, 3-8 in the Greater Miami Conference. Kevin Higgins in his 5th year at 51-56, in his 22nd year overall, 216 and 266. For the Middletown Middies at 10-7 and 5-6, their head coach, second-year skipper Kelvin Moss, 21-21 in his 4th year after a stint at Fenwick, 31-22. We'll step aside here, and when we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups in the opening tip. This is our game of the week here on Chatterbox Plus. If you're ready now, let's give you the starting lineups here in this ball game. First, for visiting Middletown, the guards tonight are number 1, Delamarr Blanton at 6 foot tall, a junior. 2 is Jeremiah Landers at 6'2", a sophomore. 5 is Dalen Jamison getting this nod tonight at 5'10", a junior. Up front, it's 23, Isaiah Day, 6'4", a senior, and 30 is Isaac Stamper at 6'8", a junior. For the Hamilton Big Blue, they'll run a 4-guard set to start things off. 1 is Sire Riggins at 6'1", a senior. 3 is Cooper Matthews at 6'1", a senior. 4 is Davis Avery at 6 foot tall, a senior. 20 is Peyton Davis at 6 foot tall, a sophomore. And up front, it's number 2, Andrea Holden at 6'6", a junior. Again, the head coaches in this one for visiting Middletown, Kelvin Moss in his second year. For Hamilton, it's Kevin Higgins in his 5th with this program. And partner, as we get back to you on this, as we approach tip-off time, one of the things that's apparent from the starting lineup, at least from the home team tonight, they're going awfully small.
They are, and they're looking for shooting. So they got to figure out a way, hopefully, to get some guys to knock down shots. I talked about Davis Avery, who's a really, really good shooter. Sire Riggins is an athletic kid, plays really good defense for the Hamilton Big Blue. He will probably end up on day if they play man, but look for Hamilton to play zone. On the other side, for the Middletown Middies, Jeff, we have Jeremiah Landers, who's a very, very athletic kid. He's one of the best sophomores in all of state of Ohio. He's really, really good, and he just keeps getting better and better, and Coach Moss cannot say enough great things about Jeremiah Landers and his play of late, especially on the defensive end.
The last time these two teams met, Landers had a career high, 22 points in that game. He was 7 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 5 from behind the three-point line, and a perfect 6 of 6 at the charity stripe. That's the kind of performance you need in a game like this, where somebody steps up and makes a big impact.
Yeah, the Middies are actually really good from the foul line, if you remember, during those overtime games. So look for this to be a really tight game. Look for Michael Maldonado, number 3, to come off the bench for Middletown, who's such a spark. He's a former Hamilton youth player back in the day.
The home whites tonight for the home team. Hamilton with the blue numerals and trim. The visiting purple colors tonight for visiting Middletown with the white numerals and trim. And away we go here at the Athletic Center as Hamilton takes the ball first.
Hamilton runs the Princeton-style offense.
They attack the south end bucket, and they throw it inside and turn it over immediately, intended for Holden down low on the left.
And this is something a little different. The Hamilton Big Blue are coming out with a full court press, something Coach Moss probably wasn't ready for. They thought they were going to just lay back in the zone, but the Big Blue are pressing the issue a little bit, a little 2-2-1 press.
Blanton plays back to Landers, finally across the timeline, and now he'll set up the half court. Against what starts off as a 2-3, and now they play a man.
No, they'll stay in 2-3. Yep, they'll stay matched up. So they'll 2-2-1 back into that 2-3 zone, Jeff.
Dalen Jamison gets his first touch, and now Isaiah Day, who tipped things off. Low left down to Landers. He pops a fadeaway, and Middletown strikes first.
Great place to attack the zone is on the baseline, and it's a high post. Coach Moss was ready for that right off the first play for the Middies.
Landers averaging just under 13 points a ball game, and we start out 2-0 Middletown as we approach the minute mark here of this first quarter.
Delamarr Blanton draws the Matthews. Well, it looks like they're switching everything.
Trouble in the paint. The big guy Holden, no good, and it's loose, and it belongs to Middletown. Quickly up front to Jamison. Top of the key, swings it back. Landers penetrates, lost it out of bounds, and tapped away from him down low, and he'll stay up front with 6:43 to go. Middletown on offense, shooting just about 43% from the floor. And here's Isaiah Day, he pops long range, back iron and out. Sire Riggins the rebound for Hamilton. On the other side, Hamilton averaging just about 51 points a ball game. They're shooting about 41% from the floor. Looking for a spark, Matthews gets his first real opportunity. The runner off glass, in and out, and it'll stay up front. Cooper Matthews has scored in double figures in every game but one this year. That one, that matchup against Middletown back in December.
Yeah, they're really doing a good job of switching everything Middletown. Look for Coach Higgins to try to get the screener slips.
Now, while it does sound like, as we kind of told you, that Matthews has only been held down to single digits in one game this year, and that was the Middletown game back in December, he only had 9 shot attempts in that game. He's averaging somewhere up towards the 16 mark.
He's a high-volume shooter, and he draws the team's best defender every single game. It's a lot of pressure put on him. With the Hamilton Big Blues struggling scoring, it just puts so much pressure on him to score the ball.
Jamison kicks it out. Stamper, 15 feet away, baseline and out. Andrea Holden initially grabbed it, and we do have the other way, tapped away from him by Isaiah Day.
He'll probably get the credit for the rebound there. Middies picking up about 3/4 court here, just trying to get the tempo going a little bit for the Big Blue. They've been patient, the Big Blue, on offense.
Matthews plays. Peyton Davis getting his first real touch. Getting the start tonight for Kevin Higgins. Plays back Matthews. Out to the corner. 3 from the corner. Knock it down, and Hamilton has the lead.
And 1. He got fouled.
So Davis Avery will head to the line to make it a 4-point play.
So if you look at Matthews here, getting into the gap, if you're going to guard me, I'm going to kick it out. The guy I was talking about, Avery for the 3, ready to shoot the ball. Great pass by Matthews.
Davis averaging just about 6 points a ball game. 8 for 10 at the charity stripe this year.
Yeah, they did it. I mean, they're going to have to find a way. Other guys step up, just like we talked about pregame, Jeff. And Matthews doing a great job finding the open shooter for the Big Blue.
Jeremiah Landers picks up the personal on the hack. That's his first, the team's first. And Avery completes the 4-point play.
Yep, Moak coming in for Avery here, number 12 for the Hamilton Big Blue. They're going to do this token pressure, this 2-2-1 press, dropping back into their 2-3 zone. But sometimes these press will make the Middies shoot it quick.
It's Landers, penetrates, shut off on the double team. And it's poked away, grabbed by Clint Moak. And
over
now
and back. You can't do that.
we have the other way.
Yeah, Moak was trying to get it back to Matthews.
Got too excited, and that's
He
the thing.
did.
One of the things that you and I had talked about is the transition game.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And I don't know, we don't keep track of transition points on our broadcast, but I would think the winner of this game is going to have more transition points.
A lot of times it's getting the ball up the court without dribbling it, like we talked about Middletown when they played against West.
Stamper, too tall for the 6'8" youngster, and we have the other way.
It's tough to post feed from the volleyball line. They got to really work that ball around. Again, this is not what Coach Moss wants. He wants to be a little bit more patient against that 2-3 zone.
Moak triggers, and Dre Tillery into the ball game is given named DeAndre, a transfer from Lakota East. Out of bounds, we stay up front.
The Middies are putting a lot of pressure. And Dre's been sick. Coach Higgins, I was asking kind of why has he been on and off as far as games played, and he's been 2 stints throughout this year where he's been really sick. I feel bad for that.
Got to give him some chicken soup.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I feel like everybody in the world's been sick here lately. But boy, the Middletown Middies are putting lots of pressure on these guards, really trying to get them to turn that ball over.
By the way, Jalen Morris is also into the game, wearing the number 11, back down towards the bottom of your screen. It's Moak up top, now Matthews. They have to stay outside. Matthews straight on. A high arcing rainbow 3 is no good. Stamper the rebound for Middletown.
Middle flare screen there. Matthews read it well with a nice open 3. He won't miss many of those, Jeff.
So a 4-2 lead as we come up on the halfway point of this first period. Only 2 made buckets from the floor so far. Stamper low left and puts it up. No good. Can't get it around. Trayvon Bryant. Beg your pardon, Demetrius Berry. But they take it back. And now taken back by Hamilton. They want to run a little bit. Moak will set up for 3. Wave it off, and he walked with the ball.
The Middies were trying to go high-low down there, and Demetrius Berry. What a nice block. And Coach Higgins is keeping his team fresh tonight, bringing guys in and out.
You see the emergence of Michael Maldonado, your young favorite there at 5'9", a sophomore. We also see Kellen Davis, the quarterback on the football team, at 6'5", a senior for Middletown.
Yeah, look for Maldonado to try to get into the gaps, into the teeth of the zone, as they would say.
Maldonado up the far side. Gives it up. Gets it back from Davis. They'll reset the offense.
Big Blue mixing it up here. Looks like they are playing a little bit of, nope. Yeah, they're in man-to-man now. All you got to do is watch them just chase people through.
Landers dumps off. Maldonado on the elbow. Back to Davis. Puts it on the floor. The jumper from 10 is too strong back iron. We've seen a lot of back iron shots so far tonight from Middletown.
What a pass.
3 on the way off the mark. And the tap back is in control by Middletown. And they want to run. Up the floor to the rack. He goes. Delamarr Blanton.
What a great fast break. Holden about brought the house down with that tip-in dunk.
Our first tie of the ball game. Knotted up at 4. Blanton was silky smooth down that lane.
Both teams playing really solid defense here early in the first.
Avery on the catch is accounted for the only field goal tonight for Hamilton, with 2:36 left to play here in the opening quarter. Matthews, and they stay outside. They don't have anything inside right now.
No, they're running a little bit of 5-out action, just pass and move. We got Matthews are trying to get him at the pinch post, but Day's doing a great job as we got a 3-point attempt here.
Off the mark for Trey Tillery, and here comes Middletown again. Nice step through the block. Holden on the rejection. And now we got a blocking call on the opposite end.
This might be one of the best high school blocks I've ever seen in transition. As Delamarr's going, he thinks he's wide open. Euro, get that out of here, baby. What a block by Holden. Wow.
Sire Riggins returns to this ball game. We see Chandler Shields emerge for Middletown for the first time. Peyton Davis checks back in. Both teams freely substituting here in the early minutes.
They'll look to get Day a curl 3 here. Nope.
Catch and release. 3 on the way!
Great screen
Chandler
by Day.
Shields, as soon as he got into the ball game, gives Middletown the lead.
It was a great screen by Day. He pinned down the middle of the zone, and Shields gets the wide open 3.
5-0 run here by Middletown to regain the lead. Avery for 3 of his own to tie it up.
Coach Higgins with his patented timeout on a made 3.
Our second tie of the night, all 7 points tonight for Hamilton as we look at the first 3.
Yeah, that was
sequence.
that was a great that was a good underneath out of bounds play. That's the thing you work on all week is, okay, they got Day the 3 the first time, and then they turned Day into a shooter the second time for the Middies, and Chandler Shields, like you said, comes in off the bench. Literally was in 30 seconds, nails a 3.
I mean, ice cold. His first touch was a shot, right? He didn't even get a chance to dribble the ball once.
But Coach Higgins is glad he called a timeout there, because as soon as they hit that 3, the Middies had 2 passes and they were off and running in transition. And we've talked about that before, and I've asked Coach Higgins in the past. I never was one to like to call a timeout when you got momentum. But then again, sometimes it's the best chance to get the attention of your kids when things are going well.
Out of the timeout, the trigger by Trayvon Bryant. And again, that individual pressure by Hamilton here in this first quarter.
Now they're back into their zone.
Blanton, now Maldonado, up high on the right. 3 from the corner, on the way! Chandler Shields again!
Nice baseline screen. They screened the middle of the zone and the bottom of the zone and allowed him to get a wide open 3 in the corner. I love when coaches screen the zone. It really opens things up.
10-7. The 3 ball has been a factor here tonight by a couple players that maybe we didn't expect. Here's a 3 to answer back.
Speaking of screens and 3s, Holden comes out there, puts an isolation for Matthews against Davis.
Matthews averaging 19 a ball game. We're knotted up at 10 and a tie-up. So the 3 ball has been in effect tonight. 5 of them so far by the 2 teams.
Looks like it's going to be Middies ball, side out. Boy, I tell you, Coach Higgins is doing a great job. Great job of getting guys in and out, in and out.
We just saw him exhort his own bench.
Yep.
On the dead ball. And again, the 3 ball has been a factor so far tonight. Chandler Shields from Middletown has been a revelation here with 6 first quarter points. And on the other side, 7 lead all scores for Davis Avery. Yeah, final half minute here of this first period, knotted up at 10.
And Hamilton looks like they jumped into man-to-man.
Isaiah Day and 1!
Isaiah Day with a great job going off 2 feet. Lost start, comes in there. Watch the balance he has, Geoff, on this pass. Little backdoor, balance, shot fake. And Day, the Taylor University commit, scores for the Middies.
Fouls on Clint Moak. That's his first. The Big Blue have 2. And Isaiah Day to the firing line where he's a 72.5% shooter. Silky smooth on the shot. Averaging 16 in a ball game.
Very well-rounded player. We talked a lot about him last couple weeks ago. He's out there guarding the point guard right now.
And he gets it away, and then it's taken back away. Jalen Morris with 6 on the game clock. It's tapped away from him. He regains 2 on the game clock, and they will not get a shot off. And we come to the end of our first. Entertaining to be sure. 13-10 Middletown. We'll come back with a second on Chatterbox Plus. 13-10 as we head to the second period here on Chatterbox Plus. I'm Geoff Kim, along with Coach John Van Winkle, our crew tonight, our producer, Reed Mouse, our videographer, John Abney, our statistician, Mia Van Winkle, and it's been a fun one so far through the first 8.
Absolutely. And looking at the statistics here, rebounding-wise, it's 6-6, even Steven. But the thing that the Big Blue are doing, they're turning the ball over a little too much with 5 turnovers already in the first half. That has to have Coach Higgins a little bit worried as they start the ball here in the second quarter. Okay. That's all right.
Looks like we might have had a little bit of a missed start here to start off quarter number 2. I think they were just waiting for us to finish talking.
They get a little bit of water in front of the Middletown bench.
We had talked a little about Cooper Matthews, who has been impressive. He did hit one of the 3s in this first period. Matthews averages just about 16 shots a ball game on a team that averages 45.5 a night. That's 35%.
And look at the Middletown Middies, little 1-1-3 zone, half-court trap. The middle's usually vulnerable, and the Big Blue have nobody there right now. Get somebody there right now, and you should be able to break. There you go.
They work inside. The big man Holden, low left. He fires it up off the window for 2 of his own.
Great job of getting the ball inside that zone.
First 2 of the night for Andrea Holden, averaging 12 a ball game, 13-12.
Oh, I thought he had open 3 there. I said, no, don't leave it.
Well, the way that both teams have been filling it up from long distance, go ahead, right?
Right, let it fly, baby.
Here's Landers, especially since both teams shoot just right around 32% from behind the three-point line on the season.
Coach Higgins is doing a great job of mixing up zone and man. Right now they're in man.
Nice ball reversal. Landers baseline. A tough shot from 10 feet away. No good. Andre holding the rebound for Hamilton. And they want to quickly push. Avery thought about 3, and they'll disdain. And they'll reset Dre Tillery.
Good discipline there for the Big Blue. Trying to get a high percentage shot.
Screen set for Matthews. He pops 15 feet away. No good. Tapped out. Intended for Day. Taken away by Matthews. Quick toss over for Avery. 3 on the way!
What a pass. What a pass. Matthews is finding Avery. What a pass.
10 first half points for Davis Avery. 3 for Maldonado from the corner. No good. And Hamilton trying to take a double-digit or double possession lead, but they can't do that, and as the ball is recovered by Kellen Davis.
Is Holden one of the best rebounders we've seen so far this season?
Absolutely he is. About 8.5 rebounds a ball game.
I mean, he goes up and gets the ball. They screen the zone. Higgins got
3 from the corner. Chandler Shields again.
Riggins got screened on that zone underneath. Great play by the Middies.
Another lead change, our 5th of the night. Too early to say that we've got another game like the ones that we've seen recently. I harken back about a month ago to Beckett Ridge when we saw these Middletown Middies and Lakota West go double overtime. But right now, 5 lead changes through just about 10 minutes.
I wouldn't mind it, to be honest.
We nearly saw it in the reserve game tonight, going overtime.
Yeah, Hamilton Big Blue lost a tough one in the JV game.
3 off the catch.
What a rebound.
For Tillery, no good.
Coach Moss is upset. You're losing track of people when you play some of that zone that the Middies are playing. You're just losing track. Watch Matthews sneak in and just go right up and get the rebound. What a great rebound. Offensive board. And that's an odd rebound, and sometimes a little bit, Jeff, because most of the time you tell people to go backside for the rebound, and he went front side and still was able to tip it in. So Matthews is really passing the ball well tonight. Really passing the ball well tonight.
So off the miss, Holden off the rebound and the second chance opportunity, gets his 4th point of the night, and now we have our 6th lead change here in this timeout with 5:09 to play in this first half, 17-16. The 3 ball, and again, as we had mentioned, neither team prolific in shooting the 3 ball this year. Hamilton at 32%, just under it at 31.8. Middletown at 32.3. Obviously, law of averages, partners says that they're going to run out of bullets at some point in this game, but let it fly until.
They could cool down, but who knows? I love the pressure that both these teams are playing up in the full court. What a pass.
Shields underneath, double teamed, back outside. Blanton over for Stamper, and they'll reset the offense.
Big Blue really moving around. And great help side, switching everything.
Stamper had a good look low right, can't get it to drop as he shot over Barry. And now Hamilton, and now the ball kicked away, and now we head back to Middletown.
Yeah, I don't think Tillery was expecting him to throw it over. I thought Matthews was just going to bring it up.
Clint Moak checks back into this ball game for Hamilton for Davis Avery. Hard to take him off the floor and on the bench, right?
But coach is doing a good job. He's getting guys in and out, trying to keep them fresh. When you play full court, guys get tired.
Avery sits down. He has a game-high 10. And the ball is thrown away. Demetrius Berry took it away, and now handling it is DeAndre Tillery.
Got a set play here. Looks like they're going to try to run the Big Blue. What a shot.
Matthews way off the mark. And now the long outlet. We got bodies all over the place. And Middletown has the ball underneath the Shields. And another timeout?
No, I think they were checking to make sure. I think they were making sure everybody was okay. They're subbing some guys in. Those are hustle plays. I told you earlier, I love those plays. Maldonado did that a bunch against West, and the Hamilton Big Blue go on the ground, then Middletown goes on the ground. If you dive on the floor, you're usually going to get the ball.
Drive Matthews, and he was held on the way.
And that's just a great instinctive drive by Matthews. He knew he was going to get a little bit of a short closeout, and it's just a catch, rip, and go, right foot over the left foot, good footwork. Now they're going to get the ball side out of bounds.
First on Dalen Jamison. Neither team in foul trouble right now. Just 2 team fouls apiece with 3:48 to play here in this first half. Fast moving to be sure here at the Athletic Center tonight. It's Matthews between the rings.
Really keeping the ball spaced out, the Big Blue. Like you said, they're kind of small a little bit. I mean, obviously, Holden has got some size, but the Big Blue with 4 guards out there right now.
And there's a takeaway. Taken away from Davis. Isaiah Day, stop and go, kicks it off to Blanton.
That's 2 times now, Jeff, that Day's picked somebody's pocket right out in the open court. Just a really good on-the-ball defender.
3 off the wing, way off the mark, and it's loose, and some indecision on who it belongs to, and we have the other way.
Did you see Matthews could have maybe grabbed it, but he kind of held up and faked it because he didn't want the Middie to grab it, and he kind of let it bounce out. What a heady play there by Matthews.
Called that Olay.
It was, yeah. What a heady play. Matthews is wanting some help on the full court press here. At least somebody to screen for him.
And it comes in. Avery, who's back into the ball game. Team high 10 points for Davis Avery. He thought about shooting, now flashes it inside to the big man Holden and gets a blocking call down low. It's on their big guy, Isaiah Day.
They're doing a great job of using Matthews as a screener, if you notice that, and Holden sliding down. A lot of times, Jeff, just because you're the best shooter on the team, that doesn't mean you can't be a great screener, because 9 times out of 10, your guy's not going to switch off of you. It allows you to get some good inside action for your bigs.
Gets the first one to fall through. Holden does. 67% shooter at the line this year. As a team, Hamilton shooting just under 59%. Middletown on the other side, right at 68%. And he got them both. 6 points in the first half for Andrea Holden, and he has given the Big Blue a 19-18 lead. Our 8th lead change of this first half. In this ball game, we haven't seen much in the way of a run. I know we saw Middletown with a 5-0 run very early on in the first quarter, and that's been about it. It's been really no more than a possession separation every time down.
Nice pressure here. Let's see if the Middies control and get a shot.
Too strong.
Over and back.
Over and back.
See, Jeff, the zone press, the 2-2-1 press, sometimes you're not going to get a steal per se, but they'll shoot it fast or they'll make long, ill-advised passes like that pass there. The previous time they tried to post feed from the volleyball line in the first quarter. So the zone press is not just to get steals, it's to make the other team indecisive on their offense.
Tristan Hendricks takes a seat. He was in there very briefly, and now he gives back way for Tillery. And a long one, knock it down!
That was a great gate screen, a set play. A really nice gate screen here. Watch Holden will come together. And then he just knocks it down. Stays into his shot. But going for a 4-point play. This is the second 4-point play we've had for the Hamilton Big Blue, right? I mean, Avery had one earlier.
Yes.
You don't see that very often.
So Matthews off the make, and now he'll go to the line and complete the 4-point play. Well, it's not often you get to talk about 4-point plays in any ball game, much less 2 of them.
Right, 2 of them in the first half as Matthews gets a really good, well-deserved break here. He won't be out long. You know, some may ask, how do you know if the Hamilton Big Blue are in a zone or man when they get down to half court? A lot of times it depends what the first pass is. That
Shields for 3. He's been hot.
Whoa.
The putback and good. Nicely done down there by Jeremiah Landers. He had the initial bucket, and he makes it a 3-point ball game and breaks up the 6-0 run by the Big Blue. Avery's been hot tonight as well. Avery will let fly. 3 again! Mercy, is he hot! His 4th trifecta here in this first half. Step through and a foul.
Yeah.
Sire Riggins got in the way of the ball handler Blanton.
So Delamarr Blanton plays the high side, goes for the steal, and Avery just steps back. A lot of times when you play that high side, Jeff, you're saying, I'm not letting you get the ball at all. So they kind of used his defensive positioning against him there, as he's one of the better defenders, and we know that for the Middies.
Fouls on Sire Riggins. Shields on the catch. Stampers outside. We'll see if he goes down the lane and say he stays out. It's Blanton outside. Beg your pardon, Landers now back outside. 3 off the catch to knock it down. Dalen Jamison.
Doing a good job of getting inside out.
Sire Riggins will reset and throws it away. Here we go to the well and no good. The putback. And 2 more for Jamison. Yeah, 5 straight points for Dalen Jamison to make it a 1-point affair.
Maldonado with a great defensive play for the Middies. Boy, both teams are turning up the heat on defense.
Little touch foul looks like on Chandler Shields. Yes, that's what the case, and Chandler will pick up his first.
They're both a little handsy. Both teams are. That's GMC basketball on a Friday night, though. I mean, you got to be strong with the ball, and the Hamilton Big Blue and the Middies are both strong tonight as Jalen Morris is really taking a load playing the point guard here.
11 on 11. Shields guarding Morris. 53 to play here in this first half. They reverse outside, nearly stolen and taken away. Maldonado to the well, to the rack, and count the bucket and the foul.
That's 2 straight steals for Maldonado. Look at this one right out in the open court. Picks the pocket again, and then what body control to get the ball right off the glass. Maldonado, we talked about him before the game. Instant energy off the bench for the Middies.
79% shooter at the stripe. He lets fly on the bonus. No good. And it's a 1-point lead for Middletown on a 7-0 run.
Holden just throws the ball away. Middies got to think one shot with 29 seconds and the lead.
Maldonado puts on the deck to Jamison. They look inside. Landers backs in, and his way is impeded. Fouled there by Jalen Morris in the middle of the paint with 17.2 to go.
Yeah, seen a little mismatch inside there. Mouse in the house, sometimes they call it. And he went right at him. I mean, that was a great, they seen the disadvantage inside, and the Middies did a good job of throwing it in to Jeremiah Landers. Again, sophomore, one of the best in the state.
And that's a pretty looking free throw shot. 6'2", 190 pounds. Again, as you mentioned, just a sophomore, averaging just under 13 a contest. He got them both. We saw an impressive sophomore a week ago over at Lakota East, and maybe Landers can give him a run for his money.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, Landers is a transfer, so he's just now getting a good feel as his first season with the Middies, but the future is extremely bright for that kid as we got a hold on 22 for the Middies.
Trayvon Bryant picks up his first. By the way, just so you know, if you didn't catch us in the East-West game last week, we're talking about Trey Perry, who's a sophomore as well. He's awfully
I thought it was
good.
a given that everybody just knew who that guy was. I mean, he's unreal. He is unreal. I'm thinking me and you are just having a casual conversation here, but you're right. Trey Perry is an amazing player. First-team GMC guy, I'd be my guess. As that's going to put the Big Blue at the line 1-1 now.
I think they got Maldonado on that. He came around on the help from the backside, and Michael does pick up his first with 6.1 to go.
And really, if anything, Cooper Matthews is not great at, Jeff, it might be right here, right? Only shoots, 50-something% from the foul line. I believe it's 54%.
That is correct. But he's averaging 19 points a ball game. As you mentioned, a volume shooter, but he does a lot of things well. He scores with the ball, and then he also assists 3.5 a ball game. Front end, good.
Drills it. Yeah, I don't know if he's a 3-level scorer per se, because he shoots the 3 and he can really get it to the rim. I haven't seen a whole lot of their games this year to see if he's got some mid-range game. I'm assuming he does. He gets off good lift off the ground.
And he got them both. And it's a 1-point ball game. Middletown trying to run. Quickly up the floor. It's Blanton or Landers, and he'll throw up the shot and good! To close out the first half. So Jeremiah Landers drew rain, got a prayer answered, and we go to the locker room, 31-28. Middletown with a 3-point lead after they were down by as many as 6.
And that was a teardrop. I mean, that thing was up in the air. He had to shoot high in order for him to make that shot because Holden was there to block it.
Fun 1 through 16, 9 lead changes. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll review the first half and look ahead to half number 2 when we return on Chatterbox Plus. We're at the half, and a fun one here at the Athletic Center in Hamilton. 31-28 Middletown with the lead. over the hometown team. Before we get back and talk about the first half, we want to remind you to join us next week. We might have some history in the making in our next destination in Fairfield as the Indians host Hamilton. And the Indians are poised to win their third straight Greater Miami Conference title, and we will see you there next week. Tip-off time right around 7:30. Along with Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. Partner, how have your first half keys worked out?
Well, looking at it for the Hamilton Big Blue, they wanted to take care of the ball and not turn it over. Unfortunately, had 11 turnovers in the first half. Their transition defense was really good for the Hamilton Big Blue. I know the Middletown Middies are up, but they only got 31 points. In the rebounding margin, which the Hamilton Big Blue has to do if they want to win, they have to have that advantage. They do this time, right now at halftime, 13-9. And over for the Middies, they wanted to be patient against the Hamilton Big Blue zone, and Jeff, they were. They got some inside-out actions, really got the ball down on the baseline, did a good job of screening the zone. They wanted to hold the big two down, which is Matthews and Holden. Matthews has 11, Holden has 4, but he has 6 rebounds. And the last thing that they wanted to do was speed the pace. The Middletown Middies wanted to speed the pace. I think they did do a good job. Case in point, the very last play of the game. They moved it up the court really, really quick and had a nice little teardrop on the baseline for the Middies. So, again, both of them were kind of getting a little bit of what they wanted on their keys to the game, hence why the score is 31-28 right now in favor of the Middies.
Leading scorer in this ball game is Davis Avery with 13. He's been kind of a revelation. 4 makes from behind the three-point line. Chandler Shields doing well off the bench, leading the Middletown Middies tonight in scoring with 11 first-half points.
And you mentioned Avery, Davis Avery. We talked about him before the game. You got to think that Coach Moss is all over his guys. Do not let him get wide-open threes.
As we get back underway, we've seen 9 lead changes in this ball game. We've seen Hamilton lead by as many as 6. We got a 3-point margin right now for Middletown, as this one will stay up front.
Coach wanted a high-low there. Coach Moss is, you could tell they had that set up, and Day really went flashing to the high post there against that zone.
Up high to Stamper. Feeds down low. Blanton, or beg your pardon, Landers cannot get it to drop.
Nice little seal in there.
It's Sire Riggins, and now they keep it around the arc left to right. Matthews throws it down low, batted back right to Cooper.
Lots of pressure. I mean, the Middletown Middies are really pressuring the ball all over in the half court.
Cooper Matthews throws it away. Intended down low for Peyton Davis.
Coach Higgins wanting him to relax. He just yelled at relax, Cooper, and then you got to have him under control.
Stamper, skip pass. Blanton down low. Landers, beg your pardon, to Isaiah Day.
You can't close out with your hands down and allow the offensive guy to zip the ball right over your head. And Matthews with his hands down on the closeout. 2 hands high is what you try to teach.
Before we have the turnover, we have a stop with 6:42 to play here in the third.
Got a little kick. And see, that was above the foul line, and they're getting it on the baseline. In the first half, Matthews gets fouled driving the baseline and gets it side out.
Avery throws in. Matthews from the corner. He can't get it. He gets it back. He throws it up. It's blocked away by Day. This one put him in. Count the bucket and the foul. Andrea Holden, again, the rebound and the points.
Great drive here by Matthews. Very athletic. As he gets his offensive rebound, goes up, pins it, and then Holden, what does Holden always do? Gets an offensive rebound and the step back.
And he gets the old-fashioned three-point play. You know, as we came out of the half, the one thing we noticed from a statistic standpoint, we saw 20 buckets from the floor. 10 were made combined by both teams inside the paint, and 10 were made outside the paint. Well, we just knew that coming into the second half, that's unsustainable.
It is.
I mean, are you going to have 20 made threes in this ball game? Well, we'll see. We still got some time, and with blocking call down low. So Dalen Jamison was trying to make his move. And they get that on Matthews. That's his second. Oh, boy, another beauty of a move for Jeremiah Landers. He's taken over this ball game.
I mean, he drove from 22 feet out, and that's why Coach Higgins is disappointed. It's one thing to get beat. It's another thing that your teammates aren't there and help side to try to take a charge.
Landers has 10, 35-31. Another shot by Holden, no good. This one will stay up front. Tapped out, last touched by Delamarr Blanton. Michael Maldonado comes back into this ballgame. You and I were so very proud of him because of his size, right? He's about our height. But you go back to the game that we saw with him 3 weeks ago, and how many charges did he take against Lakota West?
4, and they were crucial. Remember, he took one at the end of the first overtime to really seal them to go to overtime for the second time. Lots
Matthews
of pressure.
out of control. I think it got bailed out.
Yeah.
So Maldonado picks up his second. And Cooper was way out of control. I mean, it's just, I think about who's the cowboy from the Toy Story movies. That's what he looked like as he was out of control. But I think Maldonado kind of enforced that.
He did. Maldonado put so much pressure on the ball.
By the way, it's Woody the cowboy.
I was going to say, Jeff, I'd have to ask my son Charlie that answer. I'd have to phone a friend.
Peyton Davis up top between the rings.
Great spacing.
Drive, Holden, runner. He can't finish. Stamper tapped it out. Landers has 10. He had 22 in their earlier matchup back in December. He throws in Stamper. Back outside. 3 for Shields. He left it short. The rebound to Andrea Holden.
Yeah, they were trying to seal Davis Avery inside there. A little high, low action.
Steal. Shields plays out to Maldonado. He'll wait.
Whoa, I'm surprised they called that. Whoa. Usually you kind of wait. Usually you wait a little bit. I mean, I'm glad the referee got the guy out. It looks like Morris is hurt for the Big Blue. But usually when you have an advantage like that, Jeff, the referee will not call that dead until the Big Blue gets possession or they come out and pass, or the Middletown would have passed it around a little bit.
So an official stop or a dead ball, if you will, no foul. And again, to your point, I think and this brings up a good point, right? The recognition of players' safety.
Yeah.
It's not just health, and you just want to make sure that, if nothing else, that he's tended to as quickly as possible and not hurt in a process of getting to the bench.
Looks like we got one of the Middletown faithful gonna maybe exit the door a little bit here. It's a very emotional game for a lot of people. But back to the game. The Big Blue playing their 2-3 zone again, a little matchup zone, which I've been very impressed. I mean, they've slowed the Middies down a little bit here in this game.
Callan Davis looking to set the screen. He came in on that dead ball for Middletown.
Not
3. Dalen Jamison misfires. Davis Avery. And as we had mentioned, right, after 10 makes from behind the arc, we're starting to see a regression here.
Davis Avery with a good block out down there. Remember, they were trying to go at him underneath the possession before.
It's number 2 on Dalen Jamison.
This is a little triangle underneath out of bounds play where Matthews will probably screen for Holden and then go out one side or the other.
Fouls are not an issue so far here in this third. 3 now for Middletown, 1 for Hamilton, and a nice direct feed into Matthews, who scores on his own.
That was a great read by Matthews.
Cooper has 11, and it's a 2-point contest.
Charge.
Shields. Charge.
Yeah. Moak with the charge. Down there, you got to get dirty plays like that. In order to win games like this, you got to steal possessions. And for the Big Blue, Moak goes down there and takes a charge. Moak's a scrappy kid, baseball player, I believe. Really
yes,
good baseball player. Pitcher. Dad was a pitcher here for the Hamilton Big Blue when they made a run way back in the day. I better not say way back in the day because it was well after I was graduated, but how about just back in the day?
You know, it's funny. You and I talked about age earlier during the week when we were just mindfully chatting, and in the process of talking about that, I showed you a picture from 1993, which is now, hard to believe, 30 years ago.
And talk about that picture. Middletown great.
Here's a three, and this one short, tapped out, and Hamilton will retain possession. Three from the corner, this one short as well.
Moak gets a charge, then goes down, gets an offensive rebound. Coming in, giving good minutes for the Big Blue right now.
Maldonado feeds Landers.
Oh.
He's rejected. He gets it back to the rack. He goes. He misfires. He gets it back. And, boy, a third effort for the young man, Jeremiah Landers.
As much as I was talking about Moak, I got to give Landers his credit. I mean, down there just getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound. This 1-1-3 is really difficult.
Three from the corner for Moak. No good. The putback Holden. He can't get it to drop. It's a 4-point lead in the ball for Middletown. Maldonado to the rack. He goes. No good. Tapped out. It belongs today to the rack, and it's a charge. Beg your pardon. It's a blocking call.
I thought it was going to be a charge. End up being a block.
Day looked like he was a little bit out of control, but he got the benefit of the doubt. Foul is on Cooper Matthews, and Cooper picks up his third. You have to sit him now.
Probably not. I mean, he's a senior. He's played a ton of games for Hamilton. I'm sure Coach Higgins is going to talk to him. They're on offense, so it looks like they are going to bring maybe Riggins in. Nope, they're not. If he was on defense right now for possession, maybe get him out. But with him going right back on offense, I'd say they leave him in.
Wholesale substitutions on both sides here. Isaiah Day's got 5 points in the book, averaging 16 a ball game, and he got it.
I think one of the most impressive things is he's coming out right now. Day's been really good at the point of that 1-1-3 defense. Remember, he had a couple steals in the first half, and it's really tall and long as it looks like they're staying in this defense. Now, Hamilton Big Blue may get an open three against this if you get some drive and kick. So look for Avery to space out here.
Avery has it up high.
Now space out.
Disdain's three, back to Matthews. High-low, that's a beauty. Sire Riggins on the answering the glad end, if you will, on the assist by Matthews, and a timeout with 2:43 to play here in this third. Partner, I want to share, I wanted to finish the story that we were getting to start on. I showed you a picture earlier in the week. Boy, it might as well have been black and white because it was 30 years ago in 2 months in which Wright State went to their first ever Division I NCAA tournament. They won the old Mid-Con Conference, and Middletown's own Bill Edwards was the MVP of that tournament. He averaged 25 points a ball game for Wright State that year.
Yeah, and the Edwards family, you know, unbelievable. I talked about it before. I did show my daughter that picture, and I said, look, honey, this guy was an amazing player back in the day. Look at this. And she says, Dad, look at those shorts. Talking about the shorts. Those are way too long. I'm like, geez. You know, so, you know, I told you before when we watched Middletown, when they were at Lakota West, the best player I ever coached against in the GMC was Vince Edwards of the Middletown Middies. He was an amazing player. That Edwards line, Bill was up in Miami, I believe.
Bill Jr.?
Bill Jr., yeah, Bill Jr. went to Miami. I think he went to Penn State originally, then he went to Miami, transferred in. But what a great family, and Bill Jr., I believe, is on the staff down there right now for the Middies, and Coach Moss says he's the associate head coach. I said, what's that mean? He goes, well, if I ever get thrown out, he'll take it over.
Well, we love Kelvin, so we hope that never happens.
And I don't think he'll ever get thrown out. He's too good of a coach.
It's a 5-point ball game out of the timeout. By the way, this is our second look at Jeremiah Landers this season. We saw him in the West game 3 weeks ago, and boy, we really have fallen in love with him.
Yep.
He has the ball now up high on the left. He walked.
That was a set play for him to isolate. They went gate screen on the weak side and threw back to him, trying to get isolation, and Coach Moss is looking at him. That's when you want to rip and go baseline. There's no help down there, and that's exactly what Coach Moss was just telling him.
Pressure shown by Middletown. Off the unforced turnover and tapped out, and it belongs to Middletown.
Tried to take off before he had the ball there.
So the fluidity that we saw in the first half, partner, no longer exists with 2:10 left to play here in this third.
You know, it definitely is not like it was in the first half.
I mean, both teams were raring to go and just letting it fly. They might as well have been blindfolded. That's how well they were shooting. Maldonado, feet's down low, shot, and one!
Maldonado does so many things. I don't know if you can pressure him that far out because, watch, he kind of steps out, and then he just goes by him, and that's just a nice pass.
Darius Cunningham on the answering end.
And I'm not so sure Peyton Davis wants to guard the point out there, but sometimes when you switch, like they do often, the Big Blue, even when they're in man, they switch a little bit, and it was just such a mismatch for him there.
Darius Cunningham is a 6'3" senior. It's a 50% shooter at the line in limited time. Looking to give Middletown their biggest lead of the night. He does. And again, Middletown showing pressure.
Got to space a little bit more. Now Matthews needs to space further.
Peyton Davis stuck on a double team, now puts it on the deck. Still looking for help. Drops it off. Demetrius buried to the hole, no good. The putback in! Count the bucket and the foul!
Great weak side rebound there. He skipped past to break it as he skips out of it and then runs in for the offensive rebound right there on the weak side and puts it right back in. He was really patient against that press too, where he pivoted a couple times, and that's something where you have to have that patience. You can't get scared with the ball, is what I used to tell some of my guys, and he did a great job of being patient and then getting that weak side rebound.
Peyton Davis gets his first points of the night. He misfires, but he gets it back. He puts it up. No good. Everything but the basket. And now we've got a foul. Down low, Dre Tillery amongst the trees, try to put it back up. He was fouled in the act, and he'll go to the line. Fouls on Isaac Stamper.
I think Holden kept it alive early. Yeah, Holden starts that barrage of offensive rebounds, just tipping it back. It seems like Holden gets his hands on all kinds of rebounds. I mean, there's a reason he's fourth in the GMC in rebounding.
After that last make, Dre Tillery is now 7 of 14 from the stripe this year, averaging about 4.5 points a ball game. Transfer from the Lakota East School District.
He was here early in his career, middle school years, and then came back.
Back iron and out. Darius Cunningham the rebound. And it's back to a 5-point contest. Landers a quick touch. Cunningham returns it up high. Maldonado has it now between the circles. 5 out. And now looking to create. Landers to the hole. No good. He just didn't have enough ump to put it out.
He really did. He made a nice move and just kind of short-armed it.
Davis returns it up high. Matthews off the screen. They look down low. The big man, no good. One and done this time after the Holden miss. 40 seconds to play here in the third. 5-point ball game. I don't think they're playing for a final shot here. I think they're just looking for Landers to get to the hole. And yes, he does.
And he is so smooth down there. He didn't short arm that one like he did the previous shot.
14 for Landers to make it 45-38. Matthews stuck in the corner. Three for Davis from the corner. Peyton's got 5 as we run out of time here in the third. A 4-point affair here at the Hamilton Athletics Center, and we'll come back with a fourth here on Chatterbox Plus. To the fourth quarter we go, 45-41, visiting Middletown over the home team Hamilton. Along with Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim, our producer tonight, the mighty one Reed Mouse. Our videographer is John Abney, and our statistician, Mia Van Winkle. What has she provided for you?
Well, again, the rebounding war. The Hamilton Big Blue out-rebounding the Middies 25-17, but the Hamilton Big Blue have 14 turnovers, but they are close, only down 4 going into the final period.
Smoke with the ball, up high on the left as we enter things here in the all-important fourth.
Big Blue trying to get a backdoor play out of there, and Day did not let that happen.
Yeah, but Moak really got a whole bunch of Day in his face.
Yeah.
So Hamilton stays outside as we're 30 seconds deep here into this fourth quarter. 4-point ball game. Here's the jumper, 15 feet away.
A little bit of mismatch there.
So Dre Tillery gets his first field goal tonight, and it's a 2-point affair at 45-43.
I can't imagine the Hamilton Big Blue played like this on Tuesday night. Their effort tonight on defense has been really excellent, as they're with only within 2 here.
Takeaway, Hamilton can tie it up with a 2 or go ahead with a 3. Matthews to the hole, no good, he'll go to the line.
Really does a good job of controlling his body. Remember, he had an and one early. Nice little steal there. But Holden was getting ready to get another offensive rebound. He's right there trailing. Great job by Matthews to put pressure right on the rim.
First on Kellen Davis. Cooper Matthews, team's leading scorer, as we had mentioned. 19 points a ball game. He is third in the scoring category in the GMC this year, behind Nathan Nedukovic at 21.5 and Deshaun Krim of Fairfield with 20 a ball game. And he ties up the ball game. That's our first tie since very deep into the first period.
But many league changes.
Yes. Well, the funny thing is, we had mentioned that there were 2 ties and 9 lead changes in the first half. There were none of either in the third. And now we have our first tie since the first half.
Boy,
Landers was pretty.
Yeah. They see an advantage down there with him. Jeff, they're really getting Landers down in the post area and trying to get mismatch.
Kick ball, we stay up front.
And he's got an old school game down there. He slows his body down, up and under before. Really stays under control. As Moak's coming back in for Riggins.
Landers has 16 tonight. He had a game-high 22 in their last meeting. I think he's got the game high right now in this one. So clearly he's been the X factor in this matchup. There's a specific matchup that I don't know if Kelvin Moss is looking for, but he's got it with the Landers.
They're switching, and then he gets a guard like a Matthews or a Moak or Avery on him in the post, and that's an advantage for him.
They look inside and tapped away, taken away by Day. They want to run a little bit here. I think they'll reset. We haven't talked about Delamarr Blanton very much tonight. He's been really kind of quiet. I think so much of our attention has been on Jeremiah Landers in this one. He makes the move, Blanton does, and we've got a foul.
Usually when you start driving, the count stops. But not enough separation there as Matthews gets a possession for his team.
So an unforced turnover. 2-point affair. Hamilton can tie it up with a field goal right here or go ahead with a made 3. It's Avery, low left, stuck there by Day. They work back to Matthews. 3 on the way, no good. And the roof would have come off this place.
That was a clean look for Matthews. Doesn't get many of them as Landers coming right down quick.
3 to answer. Nothing there, but the rebound to Landers. And he's been everywhere tonight.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Jeff. I mean, he is all over the place.
Blanton on the drive to the hole. He gets it back off the miss. He puts it back up. No good. He puts it back and one.
Just muscled his way down there. Great, great effort. We were just talking about him, about Blanton, and he's played great defensively the entire game. And now he kind of got right into the paint and with excellent effort. And Coach Higgins is not happy with his guys down there giving up that many offensive rebounds.
They call that on Holden, his first. Big Blue have 4 team fouls. It's 7 for Middletown. So the rest of the way, every time they commit one, it's one of the bonus at the least for the home team. Can't answer. Holden, yet another rebound. He's got to have double digits tonight in rebounds.
He's so athletic. Coach Higgins says he's one of the most athletic players he's ever coached. Only his 3rd year, Jeff, in organized basketball.
Timeout. It's charge to Hamilton. Kevin Higgins, beg your pardon, saw his player in trouble and called for the TO. 3 timeouts left for the Big Blue, 4 for Middletown.
And just I should say there's only 2 left because remember he burned 2 of them earlier. But yeah, you got to save possessions sometimes. Like that looked like it was getting ready to become a turnover for the Big Blue, and Coach Higgins trying to save that possession. I mean, you got to think right now. A lot of people are saying Day. Where's Day been? Day has had one of the most complete defensive games I've seen the entire game. He's guarding guards. He's getting down into the post and guarding Holden some. But Isaiah Day is a well-rounded player, not only on the offensive end, but especially on the defensive end tonight. He's all over the place defensively.
It's been a close one here at the Athletic Center with 4:33 to play here in this one. Speaking of close ones, you were talking during the week about a particularly memorable close one between these two schools.
So, real quick, a game December 17th, 2017. We were down 8 points against the Hamilton Big Blue against the Middletown Middies. We came back and tied it and won it in 4 overtimes. The game ended at 11:15 at night.
Wow. So even a little too late for the late local news to even tell people about what happened.
Sean Stidham from MOH right down from us, he did the game.
And one!
What a great drive by Matthews. Isolation out of the timeout. Coach Higgins going to the drawing board. A little high screen. He rejects it and just gets in there. Matthews with a great finish right at the rim. Great call timeout, or great set play by Coach Higgins right out of the timeout.
It's the 3rd on Isaiah Day, and Matthews makes it a 1-point affair.
Now Matthews has been using that screen a lot this game, trying to get the isolation. Rejected it there. It finishes the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Matthews has 16, 49-48. Delamarr Blanton, who's trying to take over a little bit. He's been more aggressive, trying to drive to the hole. And now he gives it up Jeremiah Landers. Driving baseline and now kicks it out. Here's a 3 from the corner. Chandler Shields gets it to drop in.
And that time on the isolation, Day went out on the gate screen, but they threw it back. Isolated it. He drove baseline that time and got the wide open 3 for his teammate.
3 for Avery. He knocks it down.
And a steal.
It's Matthews up in the forecourt. Down for Avery to the hole.
Gets fouled
on the way to the hoop with 3:33 to play.
Davis Avery having the game of his life. And look at this shot. Throw back. Matthews, great pass. Avery splashes it from the right wing.
It's 2 on Darius Cunningham. Davis Avery, who you mentioned as a potential X factor tonight, has been the X factor tonight. 5 makes from behind the arc, 17 right now, and looking for his 18th.
Yep. Great drive on the baseline there to get to the foul line. What a 3 the play before. He's about ready to, he's getting 5 straight for the Big Blue if he hits his free throw.
We're tied, and we now have the lead for the Big Blue at 53-52.
And Big Blue can really pressure, Jeff. They only got 4 team fouls, so they're really putting some pressure on the ball. Timeout, Coach Boss. Good timeout.
We now have 10 lead changes in this ball game after the 2 makes it to the line. First to tie, then to take the lead for Davis Avery, who has a game-high 18. 3:21 to play here in this one, and this one close to the vest, and you'd expect no less from a pair of neighbors.
As you see Coach Edwards down there in the huddle, we got a good camera view there as we're moving it away, but Coach Edwards is the offensive coordinator and associate head coach. They just called a timeout. Let's see if he goes to his bag of tricks. Who are they going to go to out of this timeout? I think you got to get Day going a little bit. You got to get Day going a little bit. He hasn't had a clean look in a while. Landers has been isolation play last few times on the set pieces, but the Middies, look for them to go to Isaiah Day. Maybe a mismatch inside, Jeff.
Perhaps. Something about this Hamilton team that's been hard to decipher. They came in with a record of 7-9, 3-8 in the conference. And you know, they had a tough loss against Coleraine on the road back on Tuesday, in which basically a technical foul led into, I think, an 18-0 run for Coleraine deep in the fourth to put the game away. But they've also beat St. X in overtime earlier this year. So they're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. The talent is there, but what you get on a nightly basis, well, that's up to the players on the court.
Very inconsistent. But the thing that's been nice today for the Big Blue is defense.
3 off the catch, no good for Shields. The rebound to, guess who? Andrea Holden. He's got to have about a dozen by now. Matthews plays, Holden. Under 3 to play. Matthews making a move. Outside, Davis Avery, in and out. The rebound, Holden for 2. Andre's got 11. He's got a double-double tonight, and it's 55-52. The Big Blue by 3.
Statistically, he's the 4th in the GMC in rebounding, but I can't imagine a better offensive rebounder in the league right now than Holden. He is an excellent offensive rebounder. Looks like he's on a pogo stick, just bouncing off the floor.
Isaiah Day. Couple of reverses, and now back to the top. Nice step around. Blanton from 15. He can't get it to drop. It's loose. It belongs to Middletown. They'll stay up front. Landers skips it back for Shields, and they'll reset top of the key with Blanton. Blanton creates to the rack, and before we could see a shot attempt, he got pushed on the floor.
On the floor, still not in the bonus, only 5 team fouls. So the ball will be underneath Middies.
Davis Avery, guilty of the push, his first. As you mentioned, Hamilton not in foul trouble. 9 right now for Middletown. So the next one will be 2 shots at the line the rest of the way for Hamilton.
Interesting matchups here for the Big Blue. And they're switching everything. They're switching everything.
It's Landers. Davis has the assignment on him. Over for Day. He spots up for 3 and ties it up at 55.
I felt like Day had to get going for Middletown to have a chance, and he knocks down the big 3, the senior does.
Big time pressure broken. And now it's loose, and it belongs still to Matthews. Outside, Avery for 3 again.
And he has assisted on almost every 3. Cooper Matthews dropping a dime to Davis Avery as he picks up a hustle play. Avery's ready. Bam! Drills another 3 for the Big Blue.
Mercy, is he hot.
And Cooper Matthews with an unbelievable pass. I mean, he has assisted, it feels like, almost every one of those 3s for Davis Avery, who's having a coming-out game tonight against the Middies.
6 makes from behind the arc, a game-high 21.
You have to be happy for a guy like him who's put in his time, great kid, on and off the court. He represents the Big Blue in every way that they want to be representative. Coach Higgins says he's a great kid. He's a senior, and he'll remember this. I'm telling you, you remember these games when you play Hamilton versus Middletown, Hamilton versus Fairfield. You just remember these games, and it's something you can go and talk to your friends about for the next few weeks. But then we got a barn burner here as the Middletown Middies are down 3, minute 19 to go. Team foul-wise, Hamilton Big Blue still has 1 they can foul on. And the next one, the Middies foul in the open court. The Hamilton Big Blue shoot 2 free throws.
And what a
very clean game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And what a sequence we just saw. Isaiah Day on the one side to tie up the ball game at 3, and then the defensive play, the great effort by Cooper Matthews. He found Avery on the wing, and Davis has given Hamilton the lead. 70 seconds to go. Stamper top of the key. Shields. Over for Landers, stuck out on the baseline by Davis, who has guarded him really well here in the last minute. It's Blanton creating, and before that, did he step out or is it a foul?
2-shot foul.
It's a foul with 53.3 to go.
Did you see Blanton come to catch this ball? Watch. He came to the ball, or that was Cooper Matthews going the other way. You always tell players, meet the pass, meet the pass. That was a perfect example of Blanton meeting the pass, because otherwise Matthews was heading down the other way.
Delamarr Blanton is a 78.5% shooter at the stripe this year. Trying to get the Middies a little closer. Both teams trying to get Tuesday's loss off their minds and go into the weekend with a win. No good. Tapped again, and again, Andrea Holden. I don't have an official count on him. I lost count right around 13.
Yeah, I mean, he's up close to 16 rebounds.
It's Matthews, drops it off, Holden for 2.
Matthews with another great pass.
Maldonado waiting, 30 to play. A long free for Day. He hits it, knock it down. And a timeout with 26 to go.
They'll put
Mercy.
Day with a huge 3. Maldonado kicks it out, little trail 3. That's not 19-9, Jeff. That's about 24 feet. And I think they may add a little bit of time back on. They're talking about it now. If anything, it would be around 27.3, 27.4. They're talking about it now because the clock kept running just a little bit after that timeout. What a great pass by Maldonado.
So Isaiah Day with a couple of late treys here in this fourth quarter keeps the game close. It's a 1-point affair with under 30 to play. Right now, 26 up on the board, 60 to 59.
Looks like they're probably going to add maybe 3 seconds. Yeah, 29 seconds. So they added 3 there. Officials came together. Timeout-wise, the Big Blue have 1 timeout left. The Middies have 2. You got to think the Middies are going to try to get a steal, but you got to foul, right? And who do you foul if you're the Middies for the Big Blue? I know Cooper Matthews is shooting 54%, but there's no way you foul him. And if you're the Hamilton Big Blue, you got all your free throw shooters in, and it looks like they do because Tillery's not in the game. I mean, I know 54% Matthews, but would you foul a senior like him?
No.
Not in the fourth quarter.
Especially since he's been hot.
Yeah, not in the fourth quarter. They can run the baseline here, remember that. Run the baseline.
Clint Local trigger. He drops it off for Matthews, up the sideline, up front. And they're going to wait with Holden. Holden will dribble back outside.
Timeout.
Yeah, we have a timeout? Yeah, there was a lot of contact at the top side with 19.3 to go, but they call for the TO.
That is a tough spot, Jeff. To get it down in the corner there, they trapped him, but it's a really tough spot to throw out of. Very tough spot to throw out of. Matthews called that timeout. Coach Higgins didn't call it, but they have no timeouts left.
And 2 left for Middletown. Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot. get you to set up a play here for Hamilton. They're up by 1. A deuce would be nice for them. A 3 would be great for them.
It would be, but I mean, they're going to have to win this at the foul line because they're going to foul him. They're not going to let him get a shot. Right now, Jeff, the biggest thing the Big Blue need to worry about, and I don't see Coach Higgins has the grease board. The big thing is getting the ball in play. And you got to bounce pass it in. If you throw it head high, it's going to be turnover action. Get spacing away from that sideline so that way you got plenty of space, and they are. Look where Matthews is right now, and look where Davis Avery. Looks like they're going to staggered screen here for Matthews. He's going to curl off these two guys here. But Maldonado, great defender. There's the bounce pass.
It goes to Avery, the star of this ball game, and he is fouled from behind with 16.8 to go. Jeremiah Landers will pick up the personal.
Moak with a great pass there. Zipped it to his outside hand. Bounce pass. Offense, defense, it looks like here for the Big Blue. Davis Avery with the game of the year for him.
Got the first. He came into this ball game 8 for 10 at the charity stripe. He's got 4 makes at the line tonight. 3 of those makes have come here in the fourth. Yeah. Pressure makes.
Yeah. He's had a big game.
He got them both.
Up 3.
Maldonado's running.
Make him run off that three-point line. Pressure high, make him run. There you go, timeout.
Timeout, charge to Middletown with 10 seconds to play. How's your heart doing?
I feel great. I feel great. Now, here's the thing. If it gets under 6 or 7, do you foul if you're Hamilton and make them go to the line 1-1 and don't even give a chance to shoot a 3?
Well, that's a good strategy, right? Because if it's a foul, especially if it's a common foul, right? Because the next foul will be the 7th, right? 1 and the bonus. There's pressure on that first make to even happen, right? So Correct. It's not even a clear 2 opportunity. It's 1, and we hope to get the opportunity for the next 2.
Now, if 2 things. 1, if it was full court and they had to take 3 or 4 seconds to get it across half court, I would foul. Always foul. Now, in having the ball in the half court, side out of bounds, you just got to play solid and press up, and you can let them go by you if you want, but you cannot give open a wide open 3. The Hamilton Big Blues switch everything defensively. Right now, look for Maldonado to try to drive and kick, but if you're the Middletown Middies, you have to go to Day right now. You have to go to Day. He's your senior. He's your guy.
He's got the hot hand with a couple of late treys. He's got 13 in the book. Out of the timeout. Here's the trigger. It goes to Blanton. Between the rings. For Day. He pops it off. Fired 3. No good. It's still loose. It blows to Maldonado. He fires it up. It's blocked. And Hamilton hangs on. Mercy, what a finish.
Boy, everything is good tonight in the city of Hamilton as they knock off the Middletown Middies. Great defensive effort, and Matthews runs down the court and tosses the ball up into the student section. And boy, hey, did they lose to Coleraine Tuesday? Ain't nobody care about that right now. What a great win for the Hamilton Big Blue, who've had a really, like you said, up and down season. It's been so up and down. You know, they beat St. X, and they lose to Coleraine, and lose to Sycamore in overtime, and now they come in here tonight in the Hamilton Athletic Center, and I say steal a win from the Middletown Middies as we got the statistics hot off the press. And the rebound war, Jeff, was 29-23, the Hamilton Big Blue, and they had 0 turnovers in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
0.
That's amazing.
So, what a great game. I'm sorry, they had 1 turnover in the fourth. 1 turnover in the fourth quarter.
Well, who's counting among friends, right?
That's right. Well, we talked about it, Jeff. We said somebody else has to step up, and Davis Avery was 6 of 8 from 3, like you mentioned, 5 for 5 from the foul line, 4 of 4 in the fourth quarter. Davis Avery had to be our player of the game in many different ways. and Matthews assisted on a number of those three-point plays.
How many rebounds did Andrea Holden end up with?
Andrea Holden ended up with 14 rebounds. Another amazing statistic, Cooper Matthews, 8 assists. 8 assists. I bet you 5 of those assists were on three-point plays.
Yeah, especially to a wide-open Davis Avery. By the way, the 14 rebounds ties a career high for Andrea Holden. He did that before against Princeton and Mason. Time now for our play of the game, powered by Headline Sportswear. Partner, what is your pick?
It had to be at the very end when Matthews got a steal, came down, lost the ball, regained the ball, gets the ball to the high post, kicks it to Avery for the three, and he knocks it down. It was such a momentum play. It put him up, and the crowd went crazy. But it was an effort play by Matthews, another assist, and then Avery just knocking down the three-point shot, which tonight he was incredible from the three-point line.
Partner, you and I have been blessed these last 4 weeks in these one-possession, late situation type games, and this one was no exception. Davis Avery, a team high, a game high, 23 points. It was a three-point shooting contest in the first half, 10 combined by both teams. That slowed down in the second half, but the efforts tonight of Avery from long range was the difference.
It was, and Holden's rebounds. I mean, his rebounding tonight, they only have him down for 4 offensive rebounds, but it's also the ones he tips out to guys and things like that to save the possession. But Holden, great athlete, amazing athlete. And the other thing that was impressive tonight was Cooper Matthews came in here as the leading scorer, and the Middies were not going to let him get open shots. So what he did, he turned into a really good passer and really, really helped the Big Blue win a much-needed game, as next week, Jeff, we're 7 days away from a tournament draw. This is a big win for Hamilton. Big win.
Absolutely. They closed again that line on Cooper Matthews. 16 points and 8 assists. That's a heck of a game from a guard. Partner, let's look ahead very briefly to next week, next Friday, as we are scheduled to be in Fairfield, the Indians to take on these Hamilton Big Blue in what might be a capstone game for the home team Fairfield, looking to seal and clinch their 3rd straight Greater Miami Conference title.
I believe Reed looked it up, and I think it was the early 70s is when we had a three-peat last. Oh, I lied. We had one with Princeton in 2007 through 2010, and then prior to that, I think it was way, way back in 1974, 75, when you and I were only 1 or 2 years old at the time.
Well, were you even on the planet in 1974?
I was, but I must have missed that Princeton era when Josh Andrews was the coach down there and led the Vikings to 3-state dream. The bottom line is, it's history. If you get 3 GMC championships in a row, you're talking about history.
And Hamilton will try to keep them out of the history books next Friday, and that should be a good one, 7:30 the tip time expected out in Fairfield. Partner, before we go, want to give thanks to Missy Harvey and her crew. They took care of us very well, fed us very well, and we have to applaud her and her crew tonight. Very thankful for the folks here in Hamilton. Final thoughts on this one tonight?
Great win for the city of Hamilton. Great win for the Hamilton Big Blue. Tough loss, obviously, for Coach Moss. He'll bounce back, but he's had a rough week. I mean, you lose to East, close game, lose to Hamilton, close game. He'll regroup these guys. He'll bring them together. But what a great win tonight for Coach Higgins, his staff, and the Hamilton Big Blue.
Partner, can't wait to see you for Week 11.
You think it'll be a close game?
Well, we can only hope. And again, the final here in this one tonight, the home team Hamilton defeating Middletown 62-59 in a game that took 1 hour and 27 minutes. And again, the hero tonight, Davis Avery, 6 treys, a game-high 23 points. Our thanks to our staff, our producer tonight, Reed Mouse, our videographer, John Abney, and to our statistician, Mia Van Winkle. Next Friday, we'll be in Fairfield, the Indians against the Big Blue. Should be a great one then. For Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. We bid you good night from Hamilton.